Some month ago, something very emotional happened to me. It brought tears to my eyes. It was something that I did not know even existed. And to make more sense about that story, I have to tell you a little bit more about me, about how I came to photography. Uh, do you remember the first time when you came in contact with photography? Like, I don't mean when you got your first camera or when you took your first photograph. I mean the first time when you realized that photography is much more than just capturing a moment of time. So when I was a teenager, so it started 1986, I didn't like portraits of myself very much. I think that's pretty normal when you're younger, and didn't even know how good portraits looked like. But there is the one day where we have two very good friends of the family, Sylvia and Hans. And Hans is a photographer. And I remember that he was taking portraits of me. And when he brought me the photographs, it was the first time in my life that I really saw images of myself that I liked. And I remember seeing images or photographs he took, like of a rose and stuff like that, where I thought, that looked really nice, you know? Like for a 14-year-old a boy, it's like, for me, I had other things in my mind, like playing with my friends and stuff like that. But I realized then that photography can be something special. So Hans and his wife Sylvia, as said, were very good friends of the family. We had lots of good fun. He sometimes told me some words of wisdom, and as said before, a lot of fun stuff happened, very good memories. Sadly, he passed away like about 20 years ago. I remember when I was younger, I also got my first camera. My mom bought it for me. It was Olympus Mio. And of course, she asked Hans which camera to get, and he recommended that. And after that, it took me a very long time to get my first digital camera. You know, when I was like when I was 18 or something like that, I had other things in my mind, having fun with my friends, going into clubs and stuff like that. But then at 2001, I got my first digital camera. It was a Sony DSC f707. I just used it for fun.
I even used this camera recently for an infrared image that was exhibited at the La Gazelle in Baden.
And yeah, my first DSLR was a Canon 40D. And with that, I started to capture pool billiard tournaments. I traveled around the world, even worked in China, and my images were quite well known by the time. So you can find them in magazines, on the cover images of magazines, and a book and stuff like that. But I had an issue that I made too less money with that. So I changed to portrait photography locally, and also I really enjoyed reportage photography like I did in the pool times. But then there was a point again where I was really bored with digital, and I remember getting my first analog camera again. It was an Mamiya medium format camera in the 80mm lens, and with that I started to shoot my street portraits, where I traveled again around the world. And later I changed from medium format to large format on the street. And then there was the jump from large format to wet plate. It was quite a short explanation of my whole story, but it's not about my story, it's just how I got where I am today. Yeah, and now we are in 2024 and I turned 50, and I wanted to treat myself with something special for my 50th birthday. So I went to Mint and Rea, a shop in Vienna. I also went to the Leica shop before, but Joe Geyer and their team offered me to test some cameras. I tested a Leica M2 40. A friend of mine recommended that one, and an M6. I also tested a Hasselblad camera, analog one, and some other digital cameras. I just wanted to have something that feels good in my hand, and I really like the Leicas a lot. partly responsible for that is also Saki, I guess. Saki is a good friend of mine I met during my pool photography times. He back then started to shoot street photography already. And when I visited him in Tel Aviv, he was shooting Leica cameras. And when I saw these cameras, I liked the craftsmanship and stuff like that. So I really recommend you check out his Instagram. He does a lot of great street photography, and check him out. But at that moment, I did not decide to buy a Leica camera. I don't know, just my gut told me to wait, or maybe I was not sure, something like that happened. And now comes the moment I was not ready for. For my 50th birthday, Sylvia gave me the camera of hands. And I did not know what camera he used back then. I was like a little kid. And when I opened the package, I couldn't believe my eyes. I got a Leica M2 with two Summilux lenses, a 35mm and a 50mm. I don't know what to say. I couldn't believe what was happening. I was very, very emotional, and I think it was emotional for both of us. I'm so grateful. I'm so happy because I was looking at them before. It was an M6, but it's an M2. It's just not with a light meter, so it was pretty the same camera for me. Basically, I got the camera from the man who took the first portrait of me that I really liked, and probably the man who is responsible why I'm shooting portraits today. So this was really something that meant a lot to me. Before I used the camera, I thought it's a great idea to get it serviced, and I thought I'd bring it to the same shop that let me try some cameras. So I brought it to Mint and Rare, to the shop of Joe Geyer. And I never shot with it before, so it was a very exciting time for me for waiting to get the camera back. But I thought it's, as said before, I didn't want to damage anything, and it's a good idea to get it serviced. And you can imagine how excited I was when I picked it up, and they showed me there how to load film, because I never loaded film into a Leica camera. The lenses went smooth, the camera looked really nice, everything worked out perfectly. I got a light meter, of course, because the camera didn't have one. So they recommended that I get the Kex light meter, and honestly, I really enjoy it. I probably use it very differently than all other people, because I started to mount it on the camera, but I didn't like the experience of the Kex light meter very much when it was mounted on the camera. So I just use it like a necklace around my neck. And when I walk and I want to know the exposure times, I just point it on the ground, like on the asphalt, because that's gray, right? So it's going to be a good measurement. I overexpose anyway my films, my black and white films a little bit, so it's not that important to get it on point. And yeah, I got some other stuff, and I will link everything underneath below if you're interested what I use. This camera is now my daily driver. I already shot like 15 to 20 rolls of film. I even used it in a family wedding. I got two more lenses. I got a 21mm Elmarit, so to get a little bit wider, maybe if I shoot a rock concert again. I got myself a 90mm Elmarit also to get a little bit closer from far away, so to say. I tried a lot of film already, and like Ekta, typically the Tri-X and the HB4 and films like that. But right now I'm ended up with the Kodak Pro Image 100. I really liked it for color. And for black and white, right now I stick with the E4 Delta 100. I really like that a lot. For the future, I want to develop my own film. I did it before and I will do it again. I built myself a scanning rig here, but I guess this is something for another video. Yeah, anyway, I think now is the time that I show you some of my favorite shots I did the last 2 months. Enjoy them. I will explain maybe a little bit about what you're seeing, and see you afterwards again.
I got this nice little bag and it fits the M2 and 2 lenses, or maybe 3, even some film, and also my tripod, where I was very lucky to get a Leica ball head for. Everything you see here I will link down below. At the beginning I did some street photography in Vienna and walked my way to the lab that helped me a lot at the beginning of my photography career and captured an image of Mr. Wojciech, who is the owner of the lab. I will link him down below. Three amazing photographers gave an artist talk in the La Gazelle exhibition in Baden. The first one you saw is David Chernley, then the next one is Maxime Richer, and the last one is Lukas Lenk. Here I captured some moments of the Federation of European Photographers where I helped to prepare the images for the qualifications. I'll link them down below. You're gonna love these images and I think it's interesting to see the judges at work. At the end, I spent some time with Markus, also a photographer and a teacher in Baden, and had some fun. Of course, I captured also some images during my vacation and an amazing exhibition of Christian Schuler in Graz. These two images are from a local event our farmers organized. And at the end I take you on a walk through my hometown. I enjoy this so much. It's such a great feeling to shoot with that camera, and for me it feels like Heinz is with me sometimes. And he's probably making some funny jokes when he sees me shooting. So let me explain a little bit how fun Heinz was. He worked in a photography lab and people brought over their films to develop, right? And so when people brought their film, he took it, put it underneath the counter, and then he pulled it up again and pulled it apart and looked on the negatives like in daylight and said, yeah, I think there are some good images on there. People were going crazy, he told me. Like they were scared their film is now broken, gone, and he calmed them down and said, no, you know, we have your special lights, nothing's gonna happen, everything is gonna be okay. And they were so surprised when they picked up their film. They were thinking they have like only black images or only white images, nothing is on there, and everything worked out pretty well. What they did not know, he had like this other film canister underneath the counter with empty film on it, and he always used this one. So he had like for every brand of film, he had like another canister underneath, and so now you maybe have an idea how fun this guy was, and really good memories, good times.
Yeah, I hope you enjoyed my story, how I came to photography and how much I cherish this camera I'm using now on a daily basis. Yeah, let me know. I'm not sure I will post more of these images. Maybe I should create a second Instagram account for the Leica images for street images, or do you think I just should post it on my Wetplate account? Let me know in the comments what you think. And otherwise, thanks for watching. And as always, I'll be back, guys.
Oh, baby, I love